All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Detroit Lions Weekly. I apologize for being missing for the last 3 weeks. What wind up happening? I was sick 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't quite over it the other day. So I apologize for that, but we are back today. Shout out to Weston Lion, says, welcome back. Hi. What's up, my man? What is going on, Braylon? What's up, Bonzilla? What's going on? What's going on? Listen, we are 1 week away from the 2023 NFL Draft. And we got some stuff we need to talk about, man. Got my Red Bull. Let's get some housekeeping stuff out the way real quick. All right, so a week from today, we have the NFL Draft. We are going to be live on this channel starting at about 7 o'clock. I will have the phone lines open leading up to the draft. We'll be bringing in live coverage, pick by pick through the first round. We're going to do that for round 2 and 3 as well. On Syndicate Sports Detroit, I am going to be appearing on camera from May 1st on, which is that Monday. We'll be there on Mondays. And then, where we at here? I need to go here, go there. Wait, where is it at? Hold on, y'all. I got distracted real quick because of something there. Where's the one without the camera? That's the one. Nope. I'm looking for the one without the camera. And, okay. There it is. Okay. And then we'll do day 2 and day 3. And yeah, man. So we got a lot to talk about today. We got to talk about Brad Holmes' 35-minute presser. He was up there today and he dropped some nuggets, but he said a lot without saying anything. What's up, Fresh and Fly? Denzel says, what's up, Grid? How you been? I've been okay, man. Still kind of sick, getting over it. Lasted for a good week. And then went into last week. I was extremely exhausted, and I'm back today. Ravens Kicks, what's up, man? Says, hey, man, first time commenting, but watch all of your content. Thanks for the news and everything you provide. One pride. Appreciate that, man. I appreciate you watching and now commenting. Yeah, don't be afraid to comment, man, because you guys are what keeps the channel moving. So without your interaction, I can't really, I don't have anything to work with. So thank you, man. Thank you for watching, and thank you for finally, deciding to comment. Glad to catch a live. About time YouTube gave me the notifications, man. Yeah, YouTube is tripping. It's tripping. But listen, let's get right into it, man. Brad Holmes and the press conference today. So we're going to make a video, man, like we usually do. So I'm about to make a video about Brad Holmes' press conference. And I will be looking at the chat, but it has to be, your comments have to be aligned with the press conference for me to bring them in. So if I don't read your comment, it's because it's not about what I'm talking about and I don't want to be thrown off. But I guess we'll wait a few minutes before we do that. Happy 420. Oh, that's today. That is today. Oh my goodness. I forgot all about that. You know what the biggest takeaway was from today in Brad Holmes' press conference? We don't know what the man is doing. We have no idea what Brad Holmes is going to do. This guy, he is such an enigma. We have no idea what Brad Holmes is going to do. I love it. I absolutely love it. Is he going to take Jalen Carter? Let me ask you a question. If you've seen the press conference, how do you feel about the Lions' chances of taking Jalen Carter? Bro, I have no idea. You know what? I got it this morning. You know what I thought about? Something very good happens tomorrow on the 21st of every month. I get paid, and that's where my eyes are at. That and the NFL draft. Y'all are ridiculous. Maybe I shouldn't have went live today seeing as it was 420. Dustin says, I think they like Carter. Fresh and Fly says, if Carter is the BPA, take him. It's 50-50 right now. Bonzilla, you know what, man? Okay, let's get right into it. So we're going to make a video. We're going to be talking about Brad Holmes' press conference. So if you want me to read, I will be looking down at the chat, but I also will be addressing the camera. And it has to be about the press conference for me to talk about it. But we are going to talk about it, so here we go. Let me bring this closer so I can touch it. And 3, 2, 1. I don't know why. See, I'm so used to doing this with nobody watching, so I'm doing the countdown. All right, the Detroit Lions, where Brad Holmes, the general manager of the Detroit Lions, got in front of the media today. We see him a lot during the offseason. His time is the offseason. He doesn't really appear that much, if at all, during the season. That's Dan Campbell's time and the team's time. Brad Holmes today did his pre-draft presser, and he said a lot without saying anything, right? They asked him about a backup quarterback. They asked him about Jalen Carter. They asked him a lot, and he did the best he could in answering questions. There was a few things that I took away from it. This Jalen Carter debate, should the Detroit Lions take Jalen Carter, is the biggest enigma, in my opinion, in the last 5 years when it comes to the Detroit Lions draft. We kind of knew at 7, everybody had us taking Penei Sewell. I mean, even Jeff Okudah. They had us taking Jeff Okudah at 3, and we took Jeff Okudah at 3. Last year, not a lot to work with. It was the number 1 pick and then the number 2 pick. And now at they knew we were taking Aiden Hutchinson. But now, with this Jalen Carter thing, Jalen Carter was the consensus number 1 pick leading up to January. Then we know what happened. Then from that moment, somebody had a good point yesterday. They said none of the Jalen Carter work ethic stuff came up before he got in trouble with the law, right? So it makes you wonder. We've wondered. I have my personal feeling that the Detroit Lions will not take Jalen Carter, but it's a lot that Brad Holmes said. But one of the biggest things that stood out to me is Jalen Carter came for his visit on Monday, I believe it was, and this was his last time to kind of make an impact on the Detroit Lions. And I said in my video that this was his last chance. And from what Brad Holmes said today, quote, he said that he felt better after meeting with Jalen Carter. Now, what do you think that means? Do you think that means that he made a big enough impact to come to be drafted by the Detroit Lions if he's there at 6? A lot of people don't think he's going to make it past Seattle, but he may or may not. Brad Holmes said a ton today. And what I got from the press conference, along with whether or not he's going to take Carter, was we don't know what this guy's going to do. I also felt this, and this is kind of big for me to say. I feel like the Detroit Lions are in good hands with Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes. There's a lot of wondering about, in Brad we trust. We did the same thing with Patricia, so don't act like you weren't, you might not have been one of them people that didn't have the "In Patricia we trust" shirts on. But we did the same thing with Matt Patricia. But it's a different feeling here from listening to Brad speak, listening to the direction of this organization that he wants to take it. I feel confident, even if he takes Jalen Carter. If Brad Holmes takes a quarterback at 6, I'm going to trust him. Like today was the things that he said today were things that said, you know what, Derek, you can trust this guy. You can trust. Now, actions speak louder than words, so he has to back up what he's saying. But he talked about from talking to Sheila. He said that Sheila has never told him no, but he's told Sheila no. Sheila has asked about a certain character or prospect or something, and he's had to tell her, like, no, I don't think that's going to be a good fit. But Sheila has never said no when it came to something that Brad Holmes has asked for. And I thought that was big. But just from Sheila down, and we got to give Sheila Ham some credit. Sheila Ham, from taking their time, hiring Brad, hiring Dan, our franchise is headed in the right direction. In the right direction, I'm sorry. Levis, Bijan, Carter, Anderson, Cansey, Wilson, Richardson at 6. Yeah, Carter at 6, definitely if no Anderson. So right now, this is your last chance. What do you want the Detroit Lions to do with Jalen Carter? Do you feel better from Brad Holmes' press conference about the Jalen Carter potentially drafting him at number 6? I know a lot of folks, they have never gotten off Jalen Carter. Like, no matter what this kid does, he is a generational talent, so you say, and you want him to be part of your team. I have my concerns, but if the Detroit Lions take him, then I will not have a problem at all. Rustin says trade back. Anderson or trade with the Eagles. So, like I said, the thing that I know for sure is what we don't know. We have no idea. But 1 week from today, we will find out what Brad Holmes and the Detroit Lions are going to do. And like I said just a few minutes ago, I will trust anything that he does because he has earned it. After 2 seasons, Brad Holmes has earned it. They asked him about the villain hoodie and even dissecting the villain mantra that the Detroit Lions have adopted over the last month. He said that he loves hearing the speculation as to what it could mean. No one knows what it means but the internal staff. And I think that that's kind of cool, keeping it to themselves, but also letting us run with it. What that villain concept, he said he had no idea it was going to take off the way that it did, but it has. And they asked him about villain merch and stuff like that. So I'm excited for this draft. I think, and I think that we have to say, y'all, that the rebuild is over. I feel like after this draft, when this draft is complete, this draft Year 3 is the last process of the rebuild. It's not even them being on the field. To me, the actual draft is the end of the rebuild. So those are just my thoughts on this press conference. He said a lot to dissect. I would love to have brought it in to this show, but unfortunately it's just too long. But go watch it if you haven't seen it already. Outstanding video. And like I said, two things that I know. One, we don't know what they're going to do. You don't know. And two, Carter is still in play. I'm going to say that the Lions will not draft him, but then I don't know. So let me know what you feel like in the comments below. My name is Derek. This is Detroit Lions Syndicate. You know what to do. Don't forget, we're on live next week for the NFL Draft. And as always, go Lions. All right. I am back. Let me see what y'all saying. I have faith in Brad because his job is to find the best players. Man's probably up till midnight studying players. He knows the best fits, so I'll let him cook. And you know what, bro? I agree with that. If Levi plays, then wow, what an interior rotation. Yeah, Levi was at the workouts yesterday, but we have to see him back on the field. Holmes going to pull up some hocus pocus stuff this draft. I am very excited for these drafts. Says Denzel, what's up, my man? If Carter is not there at 6, take Bijan Robinson. Then at 18, take best player on their board. I don't think they're taking Bijan at 6. But Brad Holmes did say today that, he doesn't pay attention to where people think the running back should go. He was like, I don't pay attention to all that stuff. So if he feels that a running back can be drafted at 6, we're taking a running back at 6. I don't think we're going to do that, seeing as how we need much more. But it was a lot, man. He was talking about how this is the best position they've been in. They can go they can go so many ways that it's almost the pick of the litter. Braylon says, I prefer Jahmyr Gibbs. I wouldn't mind him either. We need somebody with breakaway speed, and Bijan is not that. He's not the home run guy, but he's a complete back. So if we missed out or decided not to go Bijan, but we got Gibbs instead, I wouldn't mind that at all. Rebuild is over. Don't ignore the roar. We've got the best GM, head coach, owner, Sheila. Could you imagine, Skip? Could you imagine 3 years ago when Matt Patricia was in his second year? So 4 years ago, Matt Patricia's in his second year. Could you ever have thought that we would be giving Sheila Hamp-Ford credit? When I know personally, when Sheila Ford did that open letter to fans, I was like, what is this? What am I looking at here? What is this? We heard this before. And I remember very distinctly, it was 2020, it was the 2020 season. It was right before Matt Patricia got fired. So it was going into the 2020 season. And she's like, competitive expectations or changes will be made. And I'm like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And she fired Matt Patricia in the middle of the season. And that moment right there was when Sheila Hamp-Ford, I was like, you know what? You growing on me. And that took a big step. And the fact that she did that is when my trust started to really build in her. What's up, 1990? What's going on, man? What is going on? But let me see. Jameson Williams. Let's talk about J-Mo real quick. J-Mo just had his 22nd birthday. From what I understand, he stayed in the city of Detroit, had a big party. You big, right? You feeling yourself when you got your own highlights playing at your birthday party. I was like, this kid he's too much, man. He is too much. But a lot of people were concerned that he wasn't at practice at the voluntary workouts yesterday, and he was. Brad Holmes said that today, too. It was almost, I forgot what reporter it was, but they were asking, he was asking kind of what our fans was asking, should we be concerned that we don't see Jameson Williams? And Brad was like, he was there. But nobody saw him, which I thought was ironic. The number one receiver, there wasn't a single picture of Jameson Williams to hit the internet yesterday. Today, Stephen A. Smith is officially Stephen A. Smith jumped on the Lions today? In a good way? Man, get up out of here. Stephen, you can kick rocks, man. We ain't forgot what you said when Dan Campbell was hired. We ain't forgot what you said last season. We ain't forgetting all, man. The bandwagon is full, bro. You can't, don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on the bandwagon for the Detroit Lions. Matt Patricia is now part of the Philadelphia Eagles. That is absolutely hilarious. Fearless says the narrative changes quickly. You know what? I disagree, Fearless. I disagree. I know where you're going, but I disagree that it changes quickly. Have you noticed that ever since Stafford left, ever since we fired, I said this before, and I know you guys are going, I believe in I'm not like a conspiracy theorist person, like, oh, everybody's out to get you and stuff like that. But I think that there are storylines in the NFL. I've said that to you guys since I've started this channel. Storylines and narratives in the NFL. I knew Matthew Stafford was a storyline and narrative. Okay. I think that Matt Patricia was the end. It was the beginning. It was the end of the beginning. Okay. It was the end of a beginning, right? It was what he did to our franchise, what he was allowed to do to our franchise, and how low we were when he left. And from that moment, from the moment we fired Matt Patricia, trading Matthew Stafford away, Brad and Dan, from criticizing Dan, from the speech, everybody was mocking him, making fun of him. Look at us now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's talking about us. They got a Super Bowl. We are fourth, like in Vegas, to win a Super Bowl, which, I mean, when was the last time you've heard that? Brad Holmes talked about Jeff Okudah today. And it was kind of unique what he said about trading Jeff. He was saying like he wasn't really making calls to trade Jeff Okudah. But then the Falcons called and they made him an offer and they took it. And he said that he thought that it was better for, it was best for everyone. That's a nice way of saying your time is, you've run your course. He said he talked to Jeff Okudah afterward, and Jeff he understood it's a business, and he was okay with it. You know what I'm saying? So we got an extra 5th round pick for a, third overall pick that was not part of this regime. The beginning of the end. It was like the end of the beginning. Yes. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I feel like the way Matt Patricia did this regime, or did this franchise, he took us to the depths. Like, we came from Jim Caldwell, who now we're kind of forgetting about. Like, nobody mentions Jim Caldwell anymore. After we finished the way that the season ended, you notice that anyway, nobody mentions Jim Caldwell. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the way that Matt Patricia tore down this team, he literally ripped it down to the studs. And this new regime has come in and piece by piece have put the building back together. And now we are competitive. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Lions have expectations this year. What else did I want to talk about? It was something. Oh, let's talk about Trey Lance. I made a video yesterday about it. Are the Detroit Lions one of the teams to be calling on Trey Lance? Would you want them to be one of the teams calling on Trey Lance? I wouldn't mind this at all for the right price. I know he's on his rookie deal. He has 2 years left, essentially. So the Lions would decide whether or not they were going to pick up his 5th-year option. Braylon with the dono. Appreciate you, big dog. Says, Okudah kept hurting our own players by Okudah. Yeah, you know what? And that's why I think Jeff would have been better at safety. I think Jeff would be a dog at safety. You know what I'm saying? Because he loses the ball. He gets burnt. I think Jeff Okudah could turn his career around if he said, you know what, coach? Let me play safety. Let me try to play safety in training camp. I mean, Ife Melifonwu went from from cornerback to safety, right? So I think Jeff Okudah could really thrive if he would have changed to safety, but, that's not our problem anymore. Fresh and Fly says no to Trey Lance. Okay. Shadow says for the right price, yes, all day. Lance has lots of upside and is still young with time to grow. Let him develop under our system. What's up, Fly? Says, I'd rather draft McKee over giving draft picks for Lance. Okay. All right. Skip says, just wanted to say happy 420. Yeah, I didn't even know, man, that it was that. Okay, so let's see. Trey Lance, 2 years left on his rookie deal. The Lions would have the option to pick up his 5th-year option. I think, according to Pride of Detroit, he would make $2 million over the next 2 years. Him and Jared Goff's contract would be up at the same time. I personally think Jared Goff gets extended. That's just me. I wouldn't mind it, though. I wouldn't mind it. But what would the compensation be? What would you prefer? Trey Lance see, for me, it's the capital and his upside and his age, the fact that he's 22. Now, if he doesn't make it, if he can't play after that, then he cements bust status. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't mind doing this. I wouldn't mind. The thing about, to me, Hendon Hooker is his age. That really kind of is getting under my skin a little bit, the fact that he's 26 years old. Knowing that he's not going to play this year, so then he'll be 27, I would rather give that pick to Trey Lance, give him a shot, because by the time that's over, he's 24. And he's either a journeyman backup, a starter, or not in the NFL. Lance's fifth-year option is going to be high. And you know what, Dustin? By that time, we'll know if he can play. I mean, I don't know. I think it would be the perfect scenario, because you would know if you wanted to move on from Goff and Trey Lance. You know what I'm saying? So you could extend Goff and let Trey walk. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I wouldn't mind that if the compensation was right. What's up, man, Bear? What's going on, man? Braylon says I wouldn't mind getting Trey Lance. McKee getting drafted in the second would earn much less than Trey. Okay, Flying, you think Tanner is getting drafted in the second round? See, I thought they gave him like a third-round grade or lower. Fearless says a third-rounder for Lance and maybe a pick next year. Okay, I'll give them pick 81 and a pick next year. 81 and a pick next year for Trey Lance. Absolutely. Youth, upside, I would do that in a second, because, okay, let's say this. Let me ask y'all this. Who do you guys want the Lions to take as a quarterback? Put it in the comments. He's projected to go around 37, says Flying. Okay. All right, so let me go to my trusty Tankathon. Tanner McKee. So that you're talking about a second round. Tanner McKee is projected to go in the second round. Don't you hate when you leave all caps on? Hate it. Okay, let's see, man. Okay, so let's go to the Tankathon Trust, and then I'll do NFL Draft Buzz, and let's see what they say. Okay, Bam Bear says no QB. 1990 says Hendon Hooker. What's up, Chris? What's going on, my man? Okay, let's see. So the NFL, if we go by QBs, okay, Tankathon doesn't even have them in the top 30. Not that they, that's just where I go. Let's see. Mock draft NFL. Where do you guys think Tanner McKee is going to go? What? And Tankathon only goes up to, like, in the, let me see. Okay. So I could have missed him, but I don't see him in the first 100 picks. What's up, Dern? Dern, this is the perfect DTR is projected to go around 163. See, I thought he was, what is that? Hawaiian, what is that? The fifth round? Is that the fifth round? Okay, Dern, we're talking about quarterbacks. And we talked about Trey Lance, and a lot of people, some people are for him, some people are against it. But Tanner McKee's name was brought up, and I was talking about, somebody said third-round pick, so that's pick number 81. Give 81 to San Francisco, a pick next year for Trey Lance, or draft a quarterback. And I was saying, what quarterback would you want? How you doing? What's up, Ken? Sadly, it's still snowing up here in the UP. Brad Holmes seems pretty confident that we still have Nate Sudfeld. You know what, Ken? I saw that, bro, and the first thing I thought was, I was like, bruh. I said to myself, no, you ain't. Stop playing. You literally dogged him out in the, what was that, the combine? You're like, man, we got to do something. We were just scrounging for a quarterback, and then you go and re-sign Nate and you're trying to sign Teddy. I'm like, bruh. So I think, I thought that was funny. I think Nate Sudfeld is like David Blau. He's like the new David Blau. David Blau we even tried to get David Blau after we cut him last time, and he spurned us. So I'm like, bruh, get up out of here. Get up out of here. Tanner McKee, props third round. Okay, what's up? 1021 says, I'm late. You already talked about Jamison Williams actually being at the workout. Yes, We did. And I talked about how his he had his birthday party, did a whole production, man, had confetti falling. I was like, dude, and then had his own highlights playing in the background. I was like, bruh. As for Trey Lance, says Skip, I'd rather draft a QB and start the rookie contract. I think Tanner McKee will go anywhere from the 3rd to 7th round. Okay? Or we could pick up A.T. Perry at 81 and end up with a decent QB in the 2nd. Okay. All right, so y'all think A.T. Perry going in the 3rd round? What about Jalen Hyatt? How y'all feeling on Jalen Hyatt? Dude is fast, man. I did watch a film breakdown on him. And it was something that the content creator said that kind of caught my attention. He was saying that the biggest knock on Jalen is that people try to compensate for his speed, so they play off of him. So he's not really a savage route runner. And then how often does he play press man? You know what I'm saying? Can he get off the line? So I haven't seen him enough to say he can or can't, but I thought that was an interesting concept. I'd be good with A.T. Perry. Okay. All right. So let's see what our draft order is. Since it's the Detroit Lions right now have the 9 draft picks. All right. Okay. So let's have some fun here. Let's have some fun. We have the Trinity Benson pick at 183. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars pick at 159. Is that from Jamal Agnew? No, that was last year. So where did this Jacksonville Jaguar pick come from? Can anybody tell me? Pick 159, it's a 5th round pick. Then we have the TJ Hockenson 55. All right. Let me see. Let me bring this in. And y'all tell me what y'all think. What should, because see, here's what I'm thinking. No quarterback here, no quarterback here. I myself don't believe that there will be a quarterback anywhere in these first 4 picks. Brad Holmes has not drafted a single quarterback in his NFL tenure. Not a single quarterback. Me personally, I think a quarterback can come here and beyond. So for me, it's either here or Brad Holmes uses some capital back here, trades back up to the 3rd round, gets a 2nd, 3rd round pick, and takes the quarterback there. Skip, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate it. Hopefully you stop by next week for the draft. So what are you guys thinking? Jacksonville pick from Atlanta. But, oh, that's right, bro. You are correct. That's the Jeff Okudah. How in the world? Yeah, so that's from the Jeff. Let me go back to, yeah, you are right, man. That's from Jeff Okudah. That's crazy. Yep, that's what that is. Pick 159. That's exactly what that is. Good looking, man. Hendon Hooker will be our guy in round 2, throwing to Jalen Hyatt, Jamison Williams, and St. Brown. Okay, so that means that we're taking Hendon here. So are you guys content with that? Taking a quarterback at 48 or 55? Because I think it's going to be, okay, let me see. Defensive tackle / end. I think this is very possible a cornerback. Very, very possible. I think here, you know what? I don't know, y'all, because Brad is not high on drafting high linebackers. So if I had to just, based on Brad Holmes, I think this is a defensive end / tackle. I think this is a cornerback. I think this, if Jahmyr Gibbs is still there, I think we take him because DeAndre Swift is on his way out. I think this right here could be a linebacker, and this could be a quarterback. So so I see defense, potential running back. If Jahmyr's gone, maybe we take a linebacker here. Maybe here's a quarterback. Maybe here's a quarterback. I don't know, guys. I don't know. That's going to be, man, it's going to be lit. It's going to be lit, y'all. KD says, I swear I have noties on. How come my phone ain't going off? Because YouTube does that, bro. YouTube will do that all the time. Okay, Dern says Stroud at 6. Okay. All right, so I made a video about it. We talked about this on Syndicate Sports Detroit. Make sure y'all check out that YouTube channel. We go on live 3 days a week over there, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We'll be live tomorrow having more Detroit Lions conversations. Okay, so we talked about this yesterday, and there's been some rumors because that's what it is now. It's I called it mom spaghetti yesterday. You just throwing stuff at the wall, right? A week before the draft, there's no more mocks you can do. There's nothing else to talk about. We talked about Aaron Donald and that ridiculous trade scenario. But now we're going to talk about CJ Stroud. So coming out of there's so much smoke and there's so many smoke screens right now. Okay, here's one of them that the Texans really love Will Anderson. So we know that the Carolina Panthers are going to either take CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. Okay. Then there's talk that the Houston Texans don't love CJ Stroud, but they love Will Anderson. So let's say Will Anderson Jr. goes to the Houston Texans. That'd be a dog move, by the way. Okay. The Houston Texans could be in play for Trey Lance. They got Davis Mills. Okay. And I think they got somebody else too. So then that puts us to Arizona. Arizona, who can they take? Okay. They take whoever. Now you move on to the Indianapolis Colts. Will the Indianapolis Colts take C.J. Stroud? So C.J. Stroud could possibly not come off until number 4. Will they take Will Levis? Will they take Anthony Richardson? So then you have Seattle. Jalen Carter is still there. Jalen Carter, somebody is going to still be there. So is it possible that C.J. Stroud falls all the way to 6? I'll tell you what. No one knows. I watched the top 10 biggest draft slides today from NFL Throwback. And number 1 was of course, Aaron Rodgers. But they made some really good points. No one knows what's going to happen. We do know that a quarterback is coming off one, and we have a pretty good 99% sure that it's going to be C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. Me, I think they're going Bryce. The Texans up, we don't know what is happening. So, I don't know. What's up, Mackenzie? Says, man, if they take C.J. at 6, they thought you lost it last year. You know what, Mackenzie? I just said before you got here that I would trust the move. I'm not going to react because here's where I'm at. I trust Brad Holmes. If you fail, you know we coming for your head. That's it. But I have to believe he's not going to fail. You know what I'm saying? Our defense is a problem. He knows that. He has to fix it. If he doesn't, then he needs every bit of criticism that comes his way. Every bit. So you're not going to see a reaction like you saw unless he trades like a Ricky Williams where he gives his entire draft up for one player. Then you would see me react. What's up, Bam Bam, a.k.a. Roaring? What's up? What's up, big dude? What's going on, man? With the super chat says, Grid, sup, boss, go Lions. What's up, big dog? Good to see you, my friend. Why does C.J. Stroud demeanor come off as a soft or timid dude? I don't know. Maybe because he just seemed quiet. Possibly. Count Buffalo says Jared Goff is better than C.J. Stroud. I think you have to say that now. C.J. Stroud is not in the NFL. So I think, Jared Goff is better than Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. They're not NFL. They haven't played in the NFL. So once they make an NFL name for themselves, then you won't be able to say that. All I'm saying is if we don't get Carter, Chicago is for sure getting him. Okay, Fearless, check this out. I don't know because Chicago drafted Mitchell Trubisky, right? They traded up to get this dude. And from what I'm hearing, the Chicago fan base is not that high on Jalen Carter. So I don't know. I would hate to see him on the Bears. I really would because he would be a nuisance for the next 5 years. He would be our version of or their version of Ndamukong Suh. I don't want that. I don't want him anywhere in the division. So if it's not going to be us, if he's going to be in the division, we might as well take him. The quiet ones are the ones that, hey, flying. Bro, you speaking facts. Because your boy right here, I'm telling you, quiet people can be crazy. I'm not saying I'm crazy. I'm not saying, and I ain't telling you to call me. What I'm saying is, it's I got the weirdest type of, like if you do something to me, it's like it starts off at my toes where I'm not even really that upset. I'm like, okay. And then I start to process it, start to think, my temperature starts to rise. And it's just after about a day, the more I think about it, the worse it is for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's all facts. People don't know the history of Buckeye QBs. Yeah, they should. The only one that's done anything is Justin Fields. Terrell Pryor, bust. You name them, they're a bust. So that's a really good one. Stroud would be perfect for this team. You know what, Darn? I cannot wait for next week, man. We are going to have a great time. Dern is going to be with me for the draft, and we're going to have a great time because Dern is a man who knows what he wants, no matter what anybody says, and he is high on – he wants the Lions to have a backup plan, and I agree with that. We need a backup plan. We need a defense more, but we need a backup plan. So, and as far as this, listen, Teddy Bridgewater, listen. Teddy Bridgewater, why are you waiting till after the draft? You're going to be a backup quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater is not, there's no chance that he starts as an NFL QB. Like, he's not going to be a starter without the starter getting hurt. What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? Are you scared you're going to lose out to a rookie QB? The Lions made you an offer. You know you're going to be number 2. I don't understand what the issue is. Is it Detroit? You don't want to come to the D? You know what I'm saying? So, look, Teddy Bridgewater, he can kick rocks. What's up, Rated R? Says Alabama have a lot of failed QBs, too. Yeah, Ohio State, though, I think Ohio State gets much more notoriety than the Alabama quarterbacks. Dern says Buzzwater. Oh, man, if we take a QB at all in the first couple rounds, you're going to hear screams all the way from the east side of Detroit. I really don't think they're going to do that, y'all. My gut feeling is that the first round is going to be defense. This is what I feel. Okay, so last year, the first 4 picks, one of them, we took 2 offensive players last year, right? We took a tight end and we took Jamison Williams. I don't think we see, I think we see more than that this year. But the first 4 picks, the first 3, okay, we have 5 picks in the top 100. I think 3 of them are defense. I think one could be a running back, one could be a quarterback. I don't think we take a tight end early. I think we take one. Listen, give me Luke Schoonmaker. I'll take Luke Schoonmaker in the 5th round. I would take him. Or if we have to trade back up to get him, I'll take Schoon in a minute. He there with Schoon, Mitchell, Wright, Zylstra. We'll be good, bro. Dern is a mess, man. Dern is a mess. Difficult to see Carter pick past 5. Okay, Silver, we just went over the draft scenario. Who you got taking him? Who you got taking him? So that means you have 2 of those. At least one is taking a quarterback, right? Who do you have? If y'all don't, so y'all think Seattle's taking Jalen Carter? What's up, Kay? Says Brad Holmes gonna surprise us. He always does. I'd rather take Richardson if we were to take a QB in the first. I don't want Richardson, period. I don't want him at all. I don't want him at all. Yeah. Dern, I got to get that soundbite by next week, bro. Exactly. It's like a lot of these like specimens, these quarterback specimens. They got all these physical abilities, but they can't throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? Still wouldn't be surprised if we take CB at 6. Okay. Brad Holmes is such a mystery, ain't he? Ain't he such a mystery? You got nothing out of today. You got no, he didn't give you anything. I have no idea what direction he's going in. I will say, cornerback at 6. I think that their first option will be defensive line. It's either going to be a DT or DN. That's just my thought. If the guy that they want is gone, I think they trade back. I think Brad Holmes is going to do something he hasn't done, which we've been speculating since he got here that he would trade back. Oh, he'll trade back from 7. He'll trade back from 2. He'll trade. There's a guy he really, really wants. If he doesn't get it, I think he trades back, picks up more capital for maybe a trade up later down the line. I don't think that, I don't know, because I feel like if there's a corner he takes at 6, it might be Witherspoon. Aaron says absolutely he is, bro. You speaking facts. Lions should trade back with pick 6, still get the guy they want, plus a 3rd or 4th rounder and a future first-round pick for next season. Well, Kyle, only way they get a first-round pick for next season is if they trade in the teens, in my opinion. If they go back till 11. If they trade with Tennessee, they don't pick up a first rounder. I don't think. I think they get 11 and 2 more picks this year. If they trade back past 11, I think they get a first for next year. And if they get okay, Darn, you mean like we can, you want to test out the, you mean the test that I was talking about? Skip says, me either. Just say no to Richardson. He's not that accurate. The only thing about QBs, is it's not a need, and there is a studs every year in 2024. Okay, so check this out. Let me ask y'all this. What do you want to do? I already know Dern's answer. What do you want to see done with Jared Goff? How do you want this thing to go? Because we need somebody behind Jared Goff. That's facts. We need somebody to potentially succeed him. That is facts. However, we have time to make that happen. Well, we don't have time. We need a solid backup. So and Nate Sudfeld is not it. Hopefully, Jared Goff sees the field every game. He doesn't get hurt. But if we don't get one this year, we have time to get one. We have plenty of time to get a quarterback. Now, last year was an exceptional year. The quarterback class was horrendous. It was bad. They said that it was the worst QB class in like 20 years. You got to believe, and that's why the Lions didn't take one. Remember, y'all was like Malik Willis at 2? Y'all remember that?
You weak, pathetic fool.
Malik Willis at 2, and the Tennessee Titans are talking about moving on, right? So there's got to be a guy right now. If the Lions aren't taking a quarterback, there's a guy that the scouting department is like, this guy right here. 2 or 3 years down the line, we will have a first-round pick unless we trade it away. So, I mean, I know Brady Quinn and Johnny Manziel are not really good quarterbacks to compare, but Aaron Rodgers was drafted. Lamar Jackson, some of y'all love him. He was drafted. Drew Brees was taken 32nd overall. So there are some picks that don't have to be in the top 10 that can be a quarterback that can be a Hall of Fame type quarterback. If Stroud drops to 6, we could trade with Atlanta and pick up an extra second. Okay. Flying, where does Atlanta pick? Let me see. Atlanta picks 8. Okay. So I wouldn't be mad at any of this stuff. If the guy, I personally don't want Carter, but he is a need. He definitely is a need. I won't be like, oh, we got Carter. If we got Carter, I'll be like, we got Carter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like it's a win-win. I feel like if we pass on Carter, it's a win. They saw something they didn't see that we didn't see. If we take him, I feel like, okay, it's a win because he's a guy we need. I don't think he's going to get out there and just suck. I don't think he's going to be a bust, that's for sure. My concern is his work ethic, his love of the game, off the field issues. You know what I'm saying? That is my problem. It's not his play on the field that worries me. If we draft Jalen Carter, he's going to be a dog. It is going to be that way. I'm just not sure if they're going to go that route. Jalen Carter has bust written all over him. See, I don't think he's going to be a bust. If I get Kalijah Kancey at 6 without hesitation. So y'all see, I think that's a little bit of a reach for him. Yeah, I think that's a reach for Kalijah. I think he's a first round pick, maybe top 20. I don't think 6 though. I don't know. If Stroud falls to 6, I hope to God they take him so many benefits. Okay, Dern, when do we address the defense for you? What are the first? This question is for the Dern. Dern, what is the first defensive position you want the Lions to draft? Only person that will make an instant impact on this team is Carter. Okay. See, I disagree with that. Instant impact, I disagree with that. I think that a cornerback can make an instant impact. Do we have a number 2 right now? I think that a linebacker can make an instant impact. I think that a running back could make an instant impact. A quarterback, however, cannot. I don't believe that a wide receiver can make an instant impact because we have Jamison Williams. We've got St. Brown. Marvin Jones, he might not play all 3 downs. I mean, then again, he might. He might not. So I don't know. I think this is a couple positions that can make an instant impact. I think Carter might be our biggest need, that position there. I think it would be probably, my honest opinion, would be defensive tackle, linebacker. Man, we got some holes we need to fill. We really do. I want both Sanders and Simpson in the second round. Yeah, but do we need both of them guys? Okay, Dern says can be every other pick, doesn't matter to me. Okay, but Dern, that's not the question, bro. The question is, who do you want? What the first person you want, the first defensive position you want? Okay, what's up? Max says, did you talk about your dream scenario at 6 and 18? My dream scenario would be Will Anderson Jr., and then 18 would probably be, I guess it would be Bijan. But Bijan, to me, I don't know, man. I feel like it would depend on what Swift, like, okay, if Swift was the Swift we know he could be, then we would have, oh my God. Here's what I think. If the Lions we are one running back away and a healthy DeAndre Swift away from being the best running back room in the National Football League. We would have David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift, and let's just say Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson. Our running game with our offensive line, oh my God. Like, who could stop? Every ounce of the field would be covered, man. I still don't think we have a bruiser dude. And I think, like an in between the tackles. I think we will miss Jamal Williams for that. Everybody like, oh, he can, anybody can get a 1-yard touchdown. That's not true. That's not entirely true. DeAndre Swift is more of a out to the side type guy. So that would probably be my dream scenario. It depends on who falls where, bro. I like Keanu Benton, defensive tackle. And that's a big thing too. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. Stroud is a lot like Goff. Let Stroud learn under Goff and Big Ben, and oh my God. See, Darren, I want to win, bro. Like, I want to win. I want to win now. I want to win the North. I want to win our first playoff game. I want to go to the NFC title game. Like, and I don't know if Stroud helps us do that. You know what I'm saying? And Goff, it's not like Goff is on his last year. If Goff was on his last year, this would be a different conversation. Honestly, it would be a different conversation because if they didn't extend Goff, then that would tell you that they might not be trying to commit to Goff. So this time next year, Darn, if we don't take a quarterback and we don't get a realistic prospect that could be the successor to Jared Goff, then we got to have this conversation next year. There's 100%. First few picks should be a mix of defense and offensive linemen. Okay, Ben. So Ben is throwing some offensive linemen in there. I know my guy Trox, Detroit Lions powerhouse, is very high on O'Cyrus Torrance. I know he came in yesterday, I think, for a visit. So he would be somebody to look at. There's another individual as well. I forgot his name. It's escaping me right now. You can win now even with picking Stroud. We have 2 first-round picks. Okay, darn. See, I think our defense was that bad. But Brad said, now here's another wrench that Brad Holmes threw in the draft today. He said that, like, he doesn't want to be ranked 29th on defense, but that the way that the team was playing, to go 8-2, you couldn't be ranked 29th. You know what I'm saying? And the Lions weren't. They were, I want to say, top 10 in a lot of defensive rankings for those last 10 games. But the damage was so bad. It was historically bad in those first 7 games that they couldn't get any higher than overall 29th. So we don't know what he's going to do. I don't know, Dern. I mean, Dern, you could be on to something. We already learned that they had no contract talks with Jared Goff, which I think is the right move. I think this time next year we got to talk about it. Don't let Jared go into his last year playing for, I would lock him up. If you're going to lock him up before that. You don't have to give him a monster deal. It could be another 2. It can be what they gave Stafford. Like, they extended Stafford about, 2 years? Gave him a 3-year deal, 100 and some million. Stafford ain't even in the top 10, I don't think, would pay quarterbacks. I could be mistaken, though. I seen Will Anderson on First Take earlier this week, and he seems way more mature and way more NFL ready than Jalen Carter. I think that's a given. I think my honest opinion is that Will Anderson Jr. is their pick. That's the guy they want. If he makes it to 6, or Brad, if Brad wants him that bad, you're gonna hear this sound, and then you're gonna hear this. The Detroit Lions have traded with the Arizona Cardinals. That's what you're going to hear. If he really wants Will Anderson Jr., as soon as the draft starts, he's on the phone with Arizona. Believe that. What's up, Rick C? Even as a rookie, Stroud would be a better backup than what we have now. Rick, that's facts, bro. My thing is, this is my thing, and I want y'all to understand this. Our defense has been bad for a long time. A long time. Last year, our defense is the reason we couldn't win games, right? You fix the my honest feeling is you prioritize the defense. You get it to where it's not historically bad. You get it to where give us a teen rank. I mean, God, if we're ranked in the top 20, 21, 22, we probably are the second round of the playoffs. That's how good our offense was. So for me, it's like prioritize the defense because minus DJ Chark, we've lost 2 valuable pieces. We've lost the deep threat in DJ Chark. We lost the bruiser in Jamal Williams. You know, call it what you will. That's fact, right? So we replaced Jamal with David Montgomery. I don't think we replaced Chark with Jones. I think that replacement is coming. So with our team last year, we were still ranked. We ended the season ranked 5th. We were the only, and this is a stat. Listen, y'all. This is why I want to prioritize defense. Braylon with the dono. Appreciate you, big dog. Says, trade 18 for 3 so that in the first round we could have 3 and 6. Okay, that's a good scenario. But listen to this, though. This is why I want to prioritize defense. As a matter of fact, this will be an outstanding segment. Okay, so we're going to make it one. We're going to make it one. So I'm going to answer your question and make this a segment at the same time because that's what I do. The Detroit Lions are coming up on probably the most important draft of Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell's tenure. The first draft was like they were working with nothing. We had 5 picks. We flipped to 7. Okay. We had last year, Brad knocked it out the park, traded up to get Jamison Williams, got a blue chip player in Aiden Hutchinson. This is the biggest draft, in my opinion, of Brad Holmes' tenure as a Detroit Lions general manager. We're having a conversation in the chat, and the conversation of a quarterback came up at 6 and 18. What would you do with pick 6 and 18? And I have the notion of prioritizing defense. And here's my key stat to why I would do that. The top 10 offenses, all of them made the NFL playoffs except the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions ended the 2022 campaign with the 5th overall ranked offense. Their defense was ranked 29th. Do we need a backup quarterback? We do. Do we need eventually someone to succeed Jared Goff? We do. We need to do that. We never did that under Stafford. So I'm okay with a quarterback. The reason that I would prioritize defense over offense, especially early, is because the defense was the difference in how far the Detroit Lions went. So for me, that's unacceptable. Brad Holmes today in his press conference mentioned that he traded for Jamison Williams. He literally said he didn't care if he played this year. He had no issues about Jamison Williams could have sat on the shelf an entire year. He literally traded him for this year coming up. We knew that. We knew that with him being hurt. And with that, he sacrificed the defense. And our defense was horrible. Now it turned a corner the last 10 games. But he admitted that that's what he wanted. He wanted Jamison Williams. He wanted him for the future. So in doing so, he took a hit on the defense. We gave a pick 32. We gave a pick 34 for a wide receiver that we knew would have little to no impact in 2022. Now, Brad, it is time to solidify this defense. Again, the Detroit Lions were the only team, the only top 10 offense to not make the NFL playoffs. Because usually if you have a top offense, you score points. And if you score points, you win games. And if you win games, you have a great record and you win divisions and you go to the playoffs. Your Detroit Lions, again, were the only team, the only top 10 offense that did not make the 2022 NFL playoffs. So for me, I think that Brad Holmes needs to prioritize defense over offense this year. There are some guys that you can't pass up. Bijan Robinson, do you want to pass him up? The Detroit Lions have 5 picks in the top 100. How many of those picks do you think should be used on defense? Me personally, I think they use the top 2. First round is defense. I think the second round, I think we pick 3 defensive players and 2 offensive players. I think our offensive players could be running back and a quarterback. I also think that we could take a tight end later in the draft. I personally wouldn't mind Michigan's own Luke Schoonmaker. Wouldn't bother me at all. I think in the 5th round, somewhere around there. If we traded back up to the 4th and got him, something like that. But last year, our only offensive drafts were Jamison Williams, the man he really, really wanted, and James Mitchell in the 5th round, right? I think Brad Holmes doesn't go 8 picks. So you're talking about 75% defense, 25% offense. I could see 50-50, 60-40, 55-45. I still think he goes defensive heavy, but I don't think it's going to be 75-25 defense. We could use an offensive lineman. We could use a receiver. We draft Jamison Williams. Now we need another one. We lost DJ Chark. We need another wide receiver. So we had 6 on defense, and we took 2 on offense. Again, our only offensive selections were Jamison Williams, and then we took James Mitchell later on. Our last 3 picks of the NFL draft were defense. We took Rodriguez, James Mitchell, and Chase Lucas. So we have 9 picks. What are the Detroit Lions going to do? We'll find out next week, Thursday. But I think that the Detroit Lions still need to prioritize defense, although there are some offensive pieces that we need. So let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think the Detroit Lions are going to do? What would you like to see them do in their first 5 picks? Well, we have 6 through 81. We have 5 picks between 6 and 81. What would you like to see them do? What percentage do you think they're going to go defense versus offense? Let me know in the comments below. My name is Derek. Subscribe to the channel, man, so you won't miss any content. Hit the notification bell as well. And I'll see you Thursday for the NFL draft, because it's going to be a good time. So I will check you guys out then. Take care. And I am muted. What's up? What's up? Okay, so where are we at here? We are at the 57-minute mark, so we'll take a couple more questions. What Chiefs just won the Super Bowl? Chiefs defense is ranked top 20. That's good enough with Mahomes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. A top 10 defense will be enough if we remain top 5. Hey, Flying, we don't even need that, bro. We just give us 22. If we had the 22nd ranked defense, we probably are 12 and 5, 13 and 4. I mean, just think about if KJ Osborne isn't wide open, if we had a secondary, which we didn't have last year, if Rashard Penny is stopped, if we could have stopped him, if Stephon Diggs or Michael Badgley doesn't miss the field goal, but even though he missed it, if Stephon Diggs is covered or we get to Josh Allen, that's another win. That's 3 right there. So that's 12 wins already. You know what I'm saying? So all we need is we can move up 5 positions. We could be at 23 and still win 2 playoff games. You know what I mean? Yes, I will be streaming Fearless. You must have missed it. I said that. I will be on with the Dern. We'll be on for day 1 live. I'm going to start at 7, and we'll do the whole thing. We're going to take phone calls in between picks and stuff like that. So, yes, we will be going live next Thursday for the draft. How can you not know that, bro? You know I'm going live. Prioritize D-line, followed by backup. All 3 picks are defense. Top 15 defense bro, that would be phenomenal. That would be fantastic. DT, OG, LB, CB. Okay. Wow. So Woody. So you're talking about picks 6, 18, 48, and 55 are all, there's no receiver or quarterback in there. Wow. If we had a defense last year, we would have won 14 games. Woody, yes. Okay, so the draft coverage begins at 7. The draft, let me see. Let me see before we get off, because I won't see y'all again until then, so that way I can answer all y'all questions. These are good questions. I'll probably put up a community post as well. But I am going to see right now. So I'll let you know. Okay, let me see. Hate this. NFL draft. See what time it starts. Okay. All right, I believe the draft kicks off at 8, so we'll get on at 7. We'll just do that. We'll get on at 7 o'clock. Braylon with the dono, appreciate you, says 19th ranked defense would be perfect for me. Yeah, that would be a jump of 10 spots. That would be fantastic. With 32 and 34, Lions could have gotten Breece Hall, better than Bijan and Christian Watson, a more physical monster. Well, Silver Surfer, I'm just saying, bro. Brad Holmes really, really loved Jamison Williams, so he traded up to get him. And knowing that, and I'll say this, and we'll wrap the show up. That's why it was so hard on Brad Holmes last year. Brad Holmes literally confessed today that what we all knew, that Jamison Williams was for next year, meaning this year coming up, which means that our defense was not the priority that it wasn't. Jamison Williams was more of a priority for this year than the defense was for last year, if that makes sense. Although he went 75% defense, look at what we gave up. I mean, we took Josh Pascal. He didn't play till half the year was over. He's like, I'm not going to call the man Levi 2.0, but they were both drafted in the second. They were both drafted injured, I believe. And Pascal, in his short time, has done way more than Levi. So that's that. Then he went, who else? He took Kirby Joseph, stud, right? Then we went, who did we take after that? It was Hutch, Pascal, Joseph. Oh, then we took Malcolm Rodriguez, James Mitchell, and then Chase Lucas. So we didn't take another defender to round 6, and then we took 2. So, but here's the deal. Going live on this channel at 7 p.m., we'll take phone calls throughout the lead up. When the draft starts, we will bring in every pick. I'm thinking about trying to bring the visual in of every pick, but my internet service is 18 seconds behind the actual broadcast. So the sound will be there, but I was also trying to see if there was a way I could bring in the actual footage. It would be grainy, it would be fuzzy, but you would get to see it live and in real time. We'll take phone calls. I'll take like one phone call as the picks start coming off the board into the Lions pick. Then when the Lions pick, I'll make a video. I'll take more phone calls as we see people. But I'm going to try to take phone calls. I'm not sure if I will be able to, but leading up to the draft, we'll probably take some. Now, I will do this. I'm going to put out a poll if you want me to have a post-draft show. It's going to be after midnight. It's going to be very, very late. But if you guys want us to have a first-round wrap-up, then we can do that as well. So that's how that's going to be. If you still want to talk Detroit Lions, you can catch me on Syndicate Sports Detroit Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We will be live tomorrow. We will have a show Monday. We will have a show Wednesday. And then, obviously, we will get on for the NFL draft. So if you want to do that, check that channel out. Yeah, that's it. And then I'll see you guys next week. There will not be a Detroit Lions Weekly next Thursday, but we'll be on for the NFL draft. And so check the community tab to see. I'll put that up today, so we'll have enough time, enough votes to see, and we'll go from there. So this is it, y'all. Let's see what the Detroit Lions do a week from today. Yeah, Braylon, I'm gonna put it in the community tab, and if the vote is yes, then I work in my own schedule, so we'll be on for a half hour, whatever it takes to talk about, and then I'll take phone calls and stuff at that time as well. But I will be appearing on camera on Syndicate Sports Detroit beginning May 1st. So that's the Monday after the draft. And I think you guys are all caught up. So thank you for rocking with Syndicate Sports Detroit and Detroit Lions Syndicate. I want to say something so bad. I really do, man, but I'm not going to do that. Just know that I'm going to be on with my buddy, the Dern. This channel has always been about the people, man. It's never been about me. I am going to be here for you guys. I will not be I want to say something so bad, but you already know, man. I'm trying not be the bigger person because I have been the bigger person, but I'm trying to kind of dial back on this this me being so infuriated with this particular individual. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week, man. Go Lions. Yeah. Oh, it's tough, but I can make it happen.